Hey everybody, Benzie Johnson Jr. Welcome back to the channel. Now, this is part 2 of looking at Cartoon Network in 2018. Is it decent after all these years of horrible just existence? Or is it still something you should pass on? So, I have been watching some of their most recent series. I did OKKO and Craig of the Creek in the last video, so go watch that if you haven't, because we're finishing up today with Apple and Onion and Summer Camp Island. By the end of this video, you will know if Cartoon Network is worth it in 2018. If you like learning about television, not just kids television, but television in general, then subscribe to the channel because I do new videos every single week. Third on our barometer is Apple and Onion, a cartoon centered around the very blatant title characters who are trying to make their way in the anthro-food big city. Again, it's another show where the characters have a lot of leeway, but here I feel they really have to stand up on their own because there's no real plot for them to fall back on. It's in the same boat as Disney Channel's Big City Greens in that regard, which I reviewed in one of my vlogs. You can check that out up here. And in that scenario, I didn't think it worked. The show feels very outwardly European, and the first episode has the sensibilities of both an adult-leaning comedy film and your average preschool show. It's not necessarily striving for great heights, which works to some extent to make the show palatable. But beyond that, the show doesn't seem to go much of anywhere. After the second episode, I kind of felt like drawing comparisons to another food-related cartoon, and in that, I think I figured out Apple and Onion. They're like pickle and peanut. But instead of being obnoxious, they're just soft and complacent and bearable. But bearable does not a good show make. It's a very uninspired 11 minutes, honestly. There have been more hook-worthy hijinks on other shows. The issue somewhat lies in how hard the show makes the characters work. Though on that note, it's funny how neither of them has a job, yet Apple can apparently afford a whole buttload of cat supplies in episode 2. Not that discontinuity from episode to episode is bad, it's just something I noticed. But back on point, the success of the show rests heavily on Apple and Onion themselves. They're weird, they're quirky, and in some ways they're made for each other, but they really lack much personality. Yeah, they're good together, or the show would like you to believe, but they have very little character development on their own. If you gave me sound bites of the two of them without the show's imagery for reference, I probably couldn't even tell them apart. Cartoon Network gripped the art style and sensibilities of European cartoons, but not any of the things that actually make European cartoons good. Really daring, interesting, creative, and unique concepts that you just can't imagine coming to light in the cutthroat world that is the US domestic cartoon space. Apple and Onion is not daring, as its plots are hopelessly mundane in the end. It's not unique, as Pickle and Peanut has likely lacked everything Apple and Onion could have done, albeit in more aggravating fashion, and it's not all that interesting, honestly. This kind of odd couple, slice of life in an apartment crap might just fly on live-action adults TV, but it just doesn't work here. And last but not least, Summer Camp Island, the show that CN so beautifully burnt off one Sunday morning in July, which I then proceeded to excoriate them for. Apparently, it's not dead after that. And there's another 20 episodes, read 10.5 hours perhaps, which are set to be on the way. The show follows two childhood best friends dropped off at a magical summer camp home to any number of strange happenings. So basically, Camp Lake Bomb without the male-skewing, gross/creepy/scary angle. Hashtag Canada did it first. On that note, given Camp Lake Bomb had quite a long run, for a CanCon show at least, in both Canada and the US, one could argue that this sets the show up for some level of success here. But given this is Cartoon Network present day we're talking about, I'm not very confident in their ability to not screw this up. After the intentionally not rhyming theme song, we head into a world with an emphasis on whimsy as the source of weird. Not creepy or strange or outlandish, but instead with all the magic and wonder I imagine the Harry Potter series has. Yes, I haven't read them. No, I don't plan on. The episodes themselves seem decent. The characters are somewhat defined, and at least we have someone to antagonize. Seeing the camp through effectively Oscar's perspective, hardly the most adventurous spirit out there in contrast to basically the entirety of animation, is actually a somewhat interesting twist. Hedgehog doesn't sound particularly feminine to me, but with our modern concepts of identity, I don't think that matters. But I might as well point that out. To watch this show, you sort of have to defeat any qualms you may have about the show's art style. Everything has a face, everything can talk, everything is pastels, everything looks cute, whether it wants to or not. It looks, funny enough, ripped from a young child's storybook, and overall it looks and feels very off-brand for CNN. You have to remember that this is the network that brought the majority of Johnny Test to the masses that's now doing this. In comparison and contrast to pretty much the entirety of the rest of the channel's slate, past and present, and probably that of most other channels too, it doesn't look right. That's not inherently bad. Wishfart, one could argue, with its thin mono-weight lines, doesn't look right in the face of similarly Canadian fare, say Chuck's Choice, but that show overcomes its artistic setbacks to conceptually just work, and even that has an arguably more traditional color palette. Summer Camp Island has a very unique art style, and it might turn off some people. In general, I don't know how to feel about this show, honestly. It's okay, I guess. Decent. Lukewarm. I won't come running from better series on other channels or from abroad to watch an episode. So to answer the question I put up at the beginning of part 1 of this video, does Cartoon Network suck in 2018? Well, it's not outright atrocious anymore, but it seems it'll be another while before the mistakes made over the past few years finally purge themselves out. Over the past few years, Cartoon Network has turned on a lot of audiences off with just how overboard some of their series have been, one way or another. Now Cartoon Network is on a correction course, but they've overshot it so much that all their new output is just downright boring. It's not going to put me to sleep, but I'd rather watch the things that Nick is doing these days. They've got better concepts, better executions, and they're, actually interesting, which is kind of what you want from a show that you're watching. For those who have been waiting for a reason to tune into CN again, in my eyes, the time has not yet come. It's not as bad as it used to be, but it's not all that good. If you like this video, hit like, leave a comment, share the video, and of course, subscribe to the channel right here. Maybe even hit that bell too. I talk about new television stuff every single week. I hope you have fun watching me save several hours of your life, and I'll see you in the next video.